Alrighty guys, so today I'm going to make a tutorial on how to do a yo-yo trick called the finger grind. Now there's a whole bunch of different grinds out there. Palm grinds, thumb grinds, finger spins, talon grinds, horizontal palm grinds. There's just a whole variety of grinds, but it really all kind of centers itself in a starting point of the finger grind. The finger grind is kind of like the birthplace of all grinds. Now, before you get started into learning grinds, you're gonna need to have a 100% unresponsive yo-yo. If you don't have an unresponsive yo-yo, it's gonna be a huge problem because right when you pop it up, right when it gets a little slack, it's gonna eat it up and it's gonna slam into your hand. It's probably really gonna hurt. It's gonna make you frustrated, and it might make you want to bypass grinds in general. And in all reality, grinds are great tricks to know how to do. They're very impressive. They really get people haven't seen a people or yo-yos spinning on fingers or on palms very rarely, like in the general public's eye. So they're very amazed and probably don't even think it's possible. But us yo-yoers, we can do some pretty cool stuff with our yo-yos. But the other thing you're going to want with your yo-yo is you're going to want it to be smooth. Now, it's okay if it's a little grippy, uh, but if it's super grippy, right when you hit it on your finger, there's going to be a ton of friction, and it's going to shoot up, probably right off your arm, or it's going to shoot up and go out on your arm, and that's called an arm grind. That's a whole different grind. But for the finger grind, that is not what you want it to do. What you want in a finger grind is it to hop up and just sit right on your finger, nice and elegantly, and you want it to look very, of course, impressive and natural. And grinds, once again, are just great tricks to know how to do. There's a whole bunch of different variations of grinds. You can really throw them into a lot of different combos. And there's a whole bunch of different ways you can bind off of different grinds, which is very cool. So it's a very good yo-yo element to learn how to do. So when you're going to start your grind, when you have your yo-yo ready and you're determined to learn how to grind, is what you're going to want to do is you're going to have to experiment a little bit because grinds really are very versatile tricks. There's a lot of different ways you can do them successfully. So really just kind of practice different ways of doing it so you can get the best way for you and the way you feel most confident with. But in general, when you're grinding, you're gonna want to land the yo-yo kind of on this like edge of your finger, your pointer finger typically. And is what that does is it kind of reduces some friction. It's also very nice and flat compared to your other parts of your finger. And it's also a little narrower too, so it just fits in the gap of the yo-yo much better. The other thing you're going to want to do when you start getting into your grinds is another good thing to remember to do is angle your finger down slightly. Some yo-yos, if they're super grippy, you're going to have to angle them down quite a bit. Some yo-yos are just super smooth, and you really probably don't even notice the incline downwards. And some are just super smooth. You might not even tilt it down at all. But depending on what yo-yo you're using and how grippy and smooth it is, you're just gonna kind of want to slightly adjust your incline downwards. When you point your finger down, again, that just kind of depends on your preference and how you feel, and so you can get the most control of the grind. Alrighty, so here we go. I'll show you guys what it looks like real quick, a finger grind. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a super powerful throw. That's what you're going to want to do. Is you're going to want to kind of get your, typically I like to get my finger positioned before I actually land on it. And what that does is it allows me to have it right where I want it to go. So if I like move this up and moved it all around, I'd lose control of the yo-yo. But if it's just kind of nice and centered and ready to go right before the yo-yo's on it, the yo-yo just pops up, hits it, and it should grind there. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can pop your yo-yo up on your finger. The way I like to do it is by pinching, kind of like getting your hand ready over here, and then kind of giving the string a slight tug, and notice how my grinding hand or throw hand isn't moving too much. I mean, there's a slight movement, but really you can get your yo-yo hopped up and ready to go. You could too do it like that, where you use your throw hand grind to pop it up, but then you got to move your hand and then you got to adjust really quickly. So here it is again. What you're gonna do: throw a powerful throw, get your finger position good, give the yo-yo a slight tug, land it on that finger, make slight adjustments. Whoops. Make slight adjustments, and hopefully you can get a pretty long, decent, amazing, stellar looking grind. The other thing I want to cover real quick, another tip that might help, is how high you pop your yo-yo, and that's another thing you're going to want to work on when you're getting into grinds, is how high you need to pop your yo-yo up. Sometimes you're going to have to pop your yo-yo super high up. Sometimes you might have to swoop down and kind of bring it up, but that's another thing. You don't want to go too low, because then you're gonna have to go and get it, and you're gonna be kind of confuzzled from all that movement. Another thing you don't want to do is pop it up super high, because when it drops down, it's gonna probably hit your finger and it's gonna bounce right off your finger or just fall right down. So I'll show it one more time here. Here's the finger grind again. Throw it, nice long sleeper, and then just hop it right up. And that is the yo-yo finger grind tutorial. It's a